Hi, everyone. It's your friendly neighborhood coach, Jason. Today, I want to talk to you about the difference between planning and dreaming and how it can work in a partnership. So, what is planning and what is dreaming? Just to make sure everybody is clear about what I mean. Plans and dreams often are used interchangeably by a lot of people, typically by dreamers, because they'll say, oh, well, I have this plan. A plan is only a plan if there are executable steps, benchmarks, so you know when you're either there or getting closer to your plan, and there's an actual way to get to the goal. A dream can be something that's bombastic. A dream doesn't need a plan. A dream is something that is going to work out on its own. For example, a dreamer in a relationship is somebody who is going to say, well, I'm going to keep buying these lottery tickets. And when we win, oh my gosh, it's going to be so amazing. I'm going to give my family money, your family money, our friends money. Everybody's going to get well. It's beautiful, right? But the likelihood of winning the lottery is slim to nil. I'm not saying you shouldn't play the lottery. I'm not trying to be a wet blanket before all the dreamers shut this down immediately. Similarly, a dreamer might say, hey, I'm going to get famous. And when I'm famous, we're going to have everything that we need. A dreamer might also say something like, well, when I get to be the senior VP of the company by time I'm 30, everything's going to be fine no matter what we had to go through before. There isn't a plan for any of those things that is measurable and executable. And I'll get to, how we work with that, because here's the thing. Most of y'all watching this, if you're planners, are thinking, yes, that's my partner, that's not me. Okay, hear me out. We'll get to planners and then we'll get to how we make it all work together. Okay. A plan seems obvious. Well, right now we only have a total household income of X amount of dollars. Whether that's 100,000, 150, 200, $1 million, you have a household income of X amount of dollars, and with that money, you want to make the plans currently for vacations, to pay off your bills, to pay for whatever your kids, if you have them, need, or whatever the dog needs. All of these things come into a plan. A planner, a person who is bent towards planning, is going to want to plan things. Now, the cosmic joke of relationships is that typically a planner and a dreamer get together and try to make a relationship work. And the challenge with that is, obviously this creates friction because who should hold the reins? And a lot of the time, the planner seems to think, well, I should be the one in charge of everything. The challenge with that is it leads to what I'll call parentification, where one partner becomes the parent of the other, or one partner becomes the person who is always the serious person, or is the person who has to do the work of making sure that the dreamer doesn't spend all the money that you need for bills on other stuff. Let's get into some solutions. I really want you to think about what your bent is, and I want you to think about why it has value. Here's another truth. Even if two dreamers get together, just because of how relationships work, eventually one person is going to, more than the other person, assume the role of being the planner versus being the dreamer. Also, people might have a bent around specific things. Some people are very much planners around a major goal, like buying a house or getting a certain kind of car. And otherwise, they're not really planners at all. And some people, I'll call myself out on this. Some people are planners until they get to the thing and then they become dreamers. When I'm on vacation, I'm a dreamer. Now, that said, I'm generally a planner. I'm a person who makes plans, executes on those plans, and then adjusts those plans as I go as things change. This comes from a background in IT and needing to be structured about the things that I and my team did in order for things to be successful. But when I go on vacation, I'm very free. I'm relaxed. I'm not thinking about stuff. Part of it is by the time I go on vacation, I have a budget for the vacation and I know that the money that I'm spending, it's already spent. It was part of my plan to be free on my vacation, which means I planned ahead for that. But it might drive the dreamer that I'm in a relationship with crazy because they're saying, hey, Jason, what are you doing? You're spending so much money. But I had a plan for that. Now, I want you to think about what your natural bent is. Here's the thing. Someone who's a dreamer in a relationship can really help to elevate the future of the relationship, the things that can happen that they can do, and release the planner from the strictures of always having to have a plan for everything. I have worked with people who have literally net worth of millions of dollars who can't get it together to just enjoy their money. And I know it's a problem a lot of us want to have. But if you think about it, when you're so much of a planner, you can't enjoy the money because you start thinking, oh, well, what if the market crashes? Or what if the kids need more money? What if I want to leave $1 million to each kid? We can't spend that money now. The dreamer at that point gets to come in and say, but wouldn't it be nice to just go to this place and have a nice vacation? Or wouldn't it be nice to enjoy your money and buy that car that you wanted to buy this whole time and you worked so hard for? The dreamer has value for releasing the planner, and the planner has value for making sure that things actually work, because the stress of things not working in a relationship destroys relationships over time, because people get stressed. And when you're stressed in a bad way, there's good stress. Stress can be motivational. But when you're stressed in a bad way, everything goes to pot. If you're too stressed and you start looking at your partner and thinking that they're the reason that you're stressed, the trust goes away and things can't work anymore. So what can we do with both people's gifts or abilities or bents in order to make this work? My suggestion is typically to dream first and then let the planner fill in the gaps later on. So one of the things that happens in a lot of relationships is the dreamer starts dreaming and the planner starts thinking about all of the challenges and all of the difficulties and all of the mountains. And it's a bummer to a dreamer because it really feels like they're being stifled. Okay. So, what a dreamer should be allowed to do is to dream and think about all of these bombastic things that they want to do together. And then the planner can come in and say, not, I think the challenges are this, but okay, that's cool. I want to do that. So, how about we do this, then this, then this, then this? And as we move through, we'll get closer and closer to the goal. But both people, in order for this to work, have to respect the other person's ability and the other person's bents. So, my suggestion, the solution to this is to dream first and fill in the gaps afterward, which means the planner has to listen. They have to do what's called active listening when the dreamer is dreaming and think about, hey, when they're saying things, encourage them to keep dreaming and keep saying things and write it down and say, oh, that's interesting. So once you get there, like, what do you think that'll be like when we have our vacation home in this place where it costs a lot of money to have a vacation home? What do you think it's going to be like when we have this? What do you want to do there? Dream with them. Allow the dream to happen. Understanding that when you get to the end of the dream, it's like, okay, so now I want to plan this. I want to actually make sure it happens. But you both need to talk about it. And you need to, if you're both dreamers early in the relationship and no one has taken a role yet, perfect. You get to take turns dreaming and planning. And this active listening, I'll do a whole video on active listening, but use your listening skills. Just listen more than you speak. Repeat what you are hearing and make sure that you're understanding what your partner is saying. And then when you've gotten a clear understanding of what they're saying, then fill in the gaps. This can actually be a challenge having these kind of conversations. So it'll take practice, and I don't want you to expect that it's going to be perfect once you start. What you may need to do is consult outside experts. You can start an accountability group with your friends, which I'll make a video about also, or you can work with a coach or therapist because you want to practice the art of having this dream first, fill in the gaps kinds of conversations. So I want you to practice this. And if you're having difficulty with, I want you to bring in outside help, someone who's going to tell you how you're doing and give you tips on how you could do it better. That's one of the solutions that I want you to think about. I also want you to think about the risks versus the rewards whenever you are dreaming or planning. I'll pick on crypto because it's easy. When you are looking at people who are investing in crypto, there's two groups of people watching this right now who say, I love crypto. And there's other people who are out here watching this and going, you're crazy. We're going to pretend that the people who think, I love crypto are dreamers. And the people who say, You're crazy are planners. But the thing that we can agree on is that investing in crypto may have a great reward. There's also significant risk. You could lose everything you invest in crypto. Before everybody comes for me, I know that you can learn more about it and reduce that risk, etc. I'm not poo-pooing crypto. I own some crypto. But what I'm going to say is this. The way that a planner and a dreamer can work together is they can say, how much of our assets are we going to invest in crypto? And you have to be comfortable together in the risk that you're going to take for the reward that you want to get. This doesn't just count for crypto. This counts for many things. I want you to think about when you have that dream, what are the risks and what are the rewards? The rewards could be amazing, but if you spent all of your extra money on lottery tickets and never invested any of it for the future, if you don't win, the risk is that you have no money later on. The reward, if you win, sure, is great, but I want you to think about things from that lens of the risk reward. I hope that makes sense. So just to rehash, I want you to think about whether you're a planner or more of a dreamer. Ask your partner. You're going to be surprised once you explain this, that what your partner thinks you are may not be what you think you are. And then use these tools and see if it helps out. Let me know in the comments. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at jason.monroe@gmail.com or put the question in the comments. I'll read it and I'll respond to it. Have a great day. Take care.